I'm Agent Infinite. This is Sir Levin, Antonone for Sylvie and Julie, and they're going to talk about the Battle of George's Island. And so I was just wondering, guys, what were your ideas behind this
Okay, so a local green had what's his agent name? Lucky Dragon had been talking about doing big fields, how he was going to make a field bigger than Sir Levin's field. And I began thinking about, I had just created a nice anchor portal down in Buzzards Bay, very hard to get to. And I heard about the George's Island run, which was going to make another portal that could be held through the winter. So my thought was, okay, if they're going to George's Island, let's create 2 portals that can be held throughout the winter. Blocking link to prevent anything else from being brought up by green during the winter.
The last ferry was on Columbus Day.
Yeah, so you have to make the last ferry, and it's just before the last ferry to go back to mainland.
So what happened at George's Island? I wasn't there. I didn't see it.
So we showed up and it was a nice day. It was very sunny. We built our raids there. Had fun farming them. And then some frogs showed up and started trying to take it down. But then they gave up pretty quickly because they liked the inventory too much. So they started taking pictures instead, which is cool. So we're all having fun until the last ferry was leaving the island. And the plan was that as we leave the island, we'll create a link to the southern point that Forrest was clearing blocking links for.
How that worked out, we drove about 80 miles south to Mattapoisett, Julie and I.
I was driving.
We had exchanged some keys on the way down with Agent Iculus, who can't be here today. We went all the way to Mattapoisett and worked our way north, breaking links both for both the east side and west side links that we wanted to create. And it began getting a little frantic around 2 p.m. because that was when I realized that we weren't going to be able to get everything, and we asked Iculus and 9372 to pick up a couple of things. They were already doing some link breaking, but they picked up a couple more critical ones. As we were approaching, what was the time? 4 o'clock? As we were approaching 4 o'clock, Julie and I and 9372 were all racing to one last thing that needed breaking, and this was totally like out of the movies because we literally arrived and were able to knock that down.
That
Yeah,
exact
so tell us what
moment.
happened on your end. We weren't there.
We were basically waiting on the ferry to come, and we were waiting for the links to clear so we could link them. So the ferry was kind of delayed because it was the last ferry of the season, so it was a bit slow.
That's good.
And
That helped us.
yeah, it was delayed about 10 or 15 minutes. And we got on the ferry and we were basically sitting and waiting for these two to confirm that we could actually create the link. And really just last second as the ferry was pulling out, just created a link and it worked.
And you had a part in this operation as well, right?
Well, I was defending the island and doing the clearing on the northern branch of the link for the large field to follow.
And then we went to Provincetown together, and we created Carmel.
At that point it was you two guys, and so I never really learned exactly what you two guys did. We were then headed out to Cape Cod, and I'll get to that in a minute. What did you guys then go and do?
I believe you did the stretch from Newton up to Nashua.
Yeah, we kind of went our own ways after getting out of George's Island. I went to Newton, basically just a bit south of Newton, and started clearing links up along the path to Nashua.
And I started from Nashua and went down towards Swampscott.
Right.
And I ended up in Swampscott, and I made the links down from Swampscott down to Tarpaulin Bay and out to Nashua, New Hampshire.
Yeah,
And you closed the loop.
yeah, I did the last link to the lighthouse south end to Godfrey.
Right. So you guys closed the 800,000 MU field right about 8 o'clock. From that point, we went on to Dennis, Mass. We, again, with little cell signal, but we managed to bust up We used Jarvis's to take out 2 huge portals with lots of locking links on them. And then that was probably just before you guys. So in our time, that was up to 7:30. As we were driving around, we heard the Boston head going up, and then we got to Provincetown, and finished the last links. Right. So actually, Julie created the links from Provincetown down to the lighthouse and off to Swampscott, and at that point we had 1.2 million land units covering Mid-Cape, South Shore, and all of Boston.
And we proceeded to bring those fields up and down over the course of the next couple of days.
So yeah, the Boston field lasted about an hour.
Yep.
Yeah, a little over an hour.
Taken down to Nashua Point. Which,
Right.
That was the one you could get to.
Right. So we've still got the secure points that we can continue to put up fields anytime we want throughout the winter.
Kind of do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do.
One went up last week.
Yep.
And I was in Somerville taking down Narfland when suddenly the sky turned blue. And we laughed our frickin' asses off about that. It was great.
It was a great moment when we looked at that map and saw that gigantic blue field.
That's by far the largest one in this area.
Yeah, that was a nice moment.
Yes, I really enjoyed the frantic drive south, explaining my bits of the plan to the various team members who were rolling in. We really had not a minute to spare the entire way through.
Yeah,
So,
my job was to drive the whole way while he did all
It was
the
a very
organizing.
minimal group of people doing this.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
usually-
Yeah.
yeah, we've seen much
Bare
smaller
bones.
fields.
Bare
with
bones,
a lot more
not
people.
true.
Right. So yeah, we had 5 linking agents and help from maybe 4 more people who did link work. So we really kept it small, and we didn't let many people know what was coming because we didn't want it to get. Well, we also didn't want it to go out that we were up to this.
We coordinated with a number of people along
Yes.
the route to get them to prevent creating links during
Right.
that critical period.
How were you motivated
Then
to
later
start?
on we'll record the
Oh,
real answers. So we'll be like, yeah, it's a giant orgy.
it was a giant orgy.
It was a what?
Everyone watched the hair.
It was a what?
It was a giant orgy. That sounds like fun.
Yes, we came up with this idea in the middle of an orgy. It was awesome.